Right, today's route is Gate at the Peak District. So a well-known route, and this is my take on it. It's going to be around 19.6 mile, and I'm starting from the Overlock car park. I'm just under half a mile in on this route. I've literally just come off the main road. Cheers. This wall that you can see to the left of me, in the winter when the reservoir level's high, it's an amazing view that is. It's a massive waterfall in the winter. It is a very well known route, this is. It's quite rocky once we go into the main route itself. Again, for me, I'm on a midweek ride again, so I'm hoping it's going to be quiet, because it gets extremely busy up here over the weekends. I'm currently riding on the main gravel path that's taking me to Gate. This section is easy going, but the ride is far from easy going once you go into it. Just at the 2.5 mile point, I'm still on this long gravelly path, but getting quite close to the more serious stuff now in a bit. This ride is popular with quite a few people. I've seen lots of videos on YouTube that people have done it. It's definitely worth a visit if you've not been this way before. Right, I'm in Cold Side Oaks, it says. Right, I'm close to 5 mile now, or about 4 3/4 mile, and what's been a nice easy ride is suddenly going to change once I've crossed this bit of a bridge or stream, because it gets pretty severe after this. Right, I've just come on to Alden Moor, and this is where it's pretty severe really from here onwards, I think. Now, if you've not been round here and you don't know this area, you definitely need to take your time really, till you've been around there at least once anyway, because it's a bit unforgiving, these rocks, if you get them wrong. The thing that you'll find if you're on an e-bike around here, although you've got the power to go up these hills, is you can just spin out so easy on these rocks. Yeah, it's pretty difficult, this is. I'm sure it doesn't look much on the GoPro, but it's definitely hard going. Yeah, the trouble with some of these rocks is on an e-bike you've got the power to get up it, but they'll spin under you. I actually bent a derailleur once coming up here, so I was in turbo mode and a rock flirted up and bent my derailleur. Right, I've done the major hill anyway now, so although it's going to be a rocky trail, it's nothing like what I've just done. Like I say, on the real steep bit, if you're trying to cycle up it, unless you need turbo, I'd probably keep out of it, purely because, like I say, I think you'll find it'll give you too much power. I know people actually do cut gate on an e-bike, but I don't think I'll be one of them. It would be a major challenge, I'd have thought, unless people do a bit of cycling, a bit of walking, I don't know, but you'd certainly need to be fit to do 20 mile on here. I think in years gone past, these stones that I'm riding over, I think in the winter it was like a quagmire. I mean, I've seen a few videos of people doing this in the winter, and like I say, I'm not into real shitty routes, to be honest. I've had enough years of cleaning doing motocross, so I tend to just be a good weather biker really, where possible anyway. Yeah, I think these rocks, I mean, I don't know who laid them, but it was for a fair way. It must have took a lot of man hours to put these in, but it certainly makes a route completely different. Like I said, if you used to ride this in the winter without these stones, yeah, well, you probably wouldn't be able to ride. I think they'd just be like a bog. Just around the 6 mile mark. Right, I've got two lines here. I think I'll go to the left and avoid the rocks. Right, it's a bit boggy in places on this side. Maybe I need to go back up the middle. Yeah, you certainly have to knife and fork your way through this with the rocks. Right, right. Yeah, you definitely need to pick your way through this really, because like I say, you don't want to be coming off on a load of rocks, and neither do you want to be trashing your bike either. It definitely is an experience, this route, if you've not been down here before and you like sort of techie type trails, which I tend to like really. I just tend to ride well within my limitations. And going through a lot of these rocks, I've seen some real deep gouges, so obviously there's been a few people who've had some serious damage to the bikes, I'd have thought. Luckily, although it's not picking it up on the GoPro, to the left of me, I think it's a bit like a swamp. I've seen some real deep tyre marks where people have tried to avoid the rocks and ended up in a worse position. I think you're probably better to go down the rock section, just take your time and pick your lines, I think. Which is what I'm doing now, obviously. So I've not done this ride, it was probably a year ago, so I can't really remember a lot of it, to be honest. Right, mate?
Hey, bud.
Right.
All right.
I think the only downside with this route, that if it is a downside, is all the rocks I've been navigating through this way, the route comes back on itself, so I'll be coming back through all the same stuff. Right, just come on to another particularly rocky section here. Right, I think, well, I thought it a bit before actually that most of the rocks were done. I think they are now, but just at the 7.5 mile point, it is, not that I noticed before, it is actually quite time consuming going through the rock sections. It takes you quite a time to get through 1/2 mile of rocks. Every time I think the rocks are done, I get some more, and I've already done this route once before. Like I say, it's such a long time ago, obviously I forgot it. Right, I got another serious climb here, but luckily it's no rocky one. Well, it doesn't look as though it is anyway. Cheers, mate. Okay. Right. Right, I don't know whether it's picking it up in the distance. It's Langset Reservoir. I've done a route that started it from Langset all through the woods and using part of Cookgate. I've mentioned it before in a video, and it's probably a better route to do if you don't want something too severe, because although it uses a lot of this, it uses the easy sections of it really. The real severe rocky stuff is not on it. I'm literally at the halfway point of this route now, so it's a case of in a minute going back on all the stuff that I've just done, which should be fun. There's a big rocky bench here. I'm not sure whether I had this on a previous video actually, but that's sort of when you know you're halfway around this route. Some kind of memorial I should think. Right, I'm on the way back now. I've got 9.42 miles at the minute. I think a lot of the rocks that I've been over are probably downhill on the way back and not uphill, so it might make it a little easier, I don't know. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. I think a lot of this rocky trail, unless I'm mistaken, has had some work done on it since I was down here before. I don't remember it all being quite the same as this, but like I say, I do that many routes, so might just be getting mixed up with something else. Just over 10 mile at this point. This trail is taking me back to the main track that I've been on. I'm probably only a few hundred yards away from it. and then I'll be back on the rocky trail that I'd already been on the way here. Right, I'm branching off left here, which is back onto the trail which I've just come down. So back to a load of rocks. I thought it was going to be easier on the way back, but seems about the same up to now. I've done most of the hard stuff now. I'm virtually on the last section of coming out of this now, onto the easy stuff. Although it didn't rain, the mist was just like, it was like rain, even though it wasn't raining. Never experienced anything like it actually. It's certainly technical this. I think they're the best line here. Might go down the middle. Yeah, it's pretty hard going down this, to be honest, without going off. But right, I'm back on the easy stuff now. Well, I will be in a second. Right, I'm just in the last 2 mile of this route now. Unfortunately, it's happened more than once. We've checked the weather, down for a perfect dry day, you get halfway around and it starts pissing it down, so just makes it awkward to film and everything really. You know, the downhill sections on the cut gate were pretty slippy. Just had to film where I could really, so the last couple of miles of this route are just going to be on this trail. But yeah, I mean, cut gate's a fantastic route if you've never done it before. The only downside with the Peak District in general really, the weather is so unpredictable. You know, it's not really a lot of point even looking at the weather forecast because they never get it right, ever. But yeah, the route itself was fantastic if you like technical stuff, Harris. Funny thing is, on this section, I'm not even sure whether it's rained around this bit. I think it's probably just up on the high tops. I think that it's probably drizzling rain. So it looks quite nice, well, dry anyway around here. Right, a summary of that ride then. 2 hours 5 minutes riding time, 19.6 mile, 2,325 foot of elevation. So on that note, I shall wrap this video up.